Chapter 1, Meet Max. Max was a curious little dog with a big nose and an even bigger love for smells. Everywhere he went, he would stop to sniff and explore with his keen sense of smell. Chapter 2, Max's favorite smell. Max's favorite smell was the salty sea air. He loved to run along the beach, sniffing the seaweed and the sand. One day, he even managed to catch a fish with his nose. Chapter 3, A Stinky Situation. Max's love for smells sometimes got him into trouble. One day, he came across a smelly old sock and couldn't resist sticking his nose in to get a good sniff. But when he tried to pull it out, the sock was stuck fast. Max was stuck with a smelly sock on his nose until his owner came to rescue him. Chapter 4, The Smelliest Flower. Max had never smelled a flower quite like this one before. It was the most pungent, disgusting smell he had ever encountered. Max couldn't help but sneeze and sneeze, trying to get the smell out of his nose. When he finally managed to escape the stinky flower, he was relieved to be able to breathe again. Chapter 5, A New Smell. One day, Max met a new friend at the park. Her name was Bella, and she was a cute little terrier with a wagging tail. Max was excited to sniff and greet his new friend, but as he got closer, he realized that Bella smelled unlike any other dog he had met before. It was a strange, unfamiliar smell that Max couldn't quite place. Chapter 6, The Smelliest Trail. Max and Bella decided to go on a hike together to explore the smells of the forest. They sniffed their way along the trail, following the interesting scents of pine trees and wildflowers. But as they walked deeper into the woods, they came across a smell that was so strong and terrible, they had to hold their noses and run back the way they came. Chapter 7, A Smelly Surprise. Max was out for a walk with his owner when he suddenly caught a whiff of something delicious. He followed his nose to a bushes and found a big, juicy bone hidden among the leaves. Max couldn't believe his luck and happily carried the bone home to savor every last bit of its delicious smell. Chapter 8, A Smelly Mystery. One day, Max's owner noticed that something in the house had a strange, musty smell. Max immediately got to work, sniffing every corner of the house to try and find the source of the mysterious smell. It wasn't until he sniffed under the couch that he finally found the cause, a forgotten sock that had been there for weeks. Chapter 9, A Smelly Adventure. Max and Bella decided to go on a camping trip to the mountains. The fresh, crisp air was full of new smells to explore, and Max was in heaven. They hiked through the woods, sniffing out all sorts of interesting scents. But when they came across a bear, they knew it was time to head back to camp before they got into any more smelly situations. Chapter 10, A Smelly Showdown. Max and Bella were having so much fun on their camping trip, they decided to stay an extra day. But as they were packing up to leave, they suddenly heard a loud, booming voice. "This is my mountain, and you are trespassing on my territory." Max and Bella looked around to see where the voice was coming from and saw a big, gruff-looking mountain lion standing on a rock above them. Max knew they needed to act fast to get out of there before the mountain lion decided to make them his next meal. Max quickly remembered a trick his owner had taught him for getting out of sticky situations. He put his nose to the ground and started sniffing around, trying to find the strongest, most pungent smell he could. Just as the mountain lion was about to pounce, Max found a stinky, old sock that he had forgotten to pack in his backpack. He picked it up and waved it in front of the mountain lion's face, trying to distract him. The mountain lion's nose twitched and he wrinkled it up in disgust, backing away from the stinky sock. Max and Bella quickly grabbed their things and ran back to the safety of their campsite. As they sat around the campfire, roasting marshmallows and telling stories, Max couldn't help but feel grateful for his love of smells. It had gotten him out of a smelly showdown with a mountain lion, and he knew it would come in handy in all sorts of adventures to come.